Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Lauren, and in my video this week I'm going to be sharing with you my tips and tutorial of how to insert an invisible zipper. Now, the example that I'm going to use in the video clips that I show you isn't on a specific garment, it's just on some sample bits of fabric. But you can expect to find these zips in dresses, in skirts, sometimes tops as well, and it's my personal favourite method of putting a zip in because when you know what you're doing and you do it well and you do it right, it just looks really slick from the outside and basically just looks like a seam, and I promise it is not as complicated as what you would think. So first of all, I just wanted to show you what an invisible zip actually looks like and talk through what the bits are called and the kind of landmarks, I guess, that you are going to find on a zip. So on an invisible zip, the sort of soft kind of fabric bits at the side is called the zip tape, and it's most commonly made of polyester. Certainly in invisible zips. I mean, sometimes with other types of zips you can get cotton ones, but mostly it's polyester. And then you've got the teeth of the zip. So on an invisible zip, the side that we're looking at just now would be classed as the right side of the zip. This will be the side of the zip that is effectively facing out away from your body once the zip is in place in the garment. And the teeth are actually on the back, or like the wrong side of the zip, and they are made from plastics. Then this little bit at the top of the zip is called the zip pull or the zip tab. And in invisible zips, it's quite slender and sort of long. It's more of a kind of subtle shape because this will be the only part of the zip that is visible on your garment on the outside. So it's best if you can get the colour of whatever that little tab is to sort of tone with the fabric. That's going to be sometimes more important than the colour of the tape, because it's this little pull that you'll see on the finished garment. And then at the bottom of the zip is the zip stopper, and this is what stops the zip from coming apart. So when you open the zip fully, that's what the little zip tab or the zip pull sort of butts against. Now, it's really easy to shorten invisible zips. Basically, you just have to recreate another stopper. So I usually just use a hand sewing needle and some thread, and I'll work out where I have to shorten the zip to, and then just simply sew several stitches round and round the teeth of the zip when the zip's closed, and then literally just chop off the bottom. And then you can just leave the bottom of the zip like that, or if you wanted to sort of cover it up a little bit, you could sew a little bit of ribbon or some tape on the bottom of the zip just to soften it off. But that's a really quick and easy way to shorten the invisible zip if it's a bit too long for your project. So before you actually come to sew the zip into your garment, there's a few preparation stages that you need to do. So on your fabric that you're sewing the zip into, you have to finish the raw edges of the fabric along where you're going to sew the zip to. So you can do that either with zigzag stitch or overcast stitch in your machine, or if you've got an overlocker, then you would do that, and you just need to finish off those two edges. There's no other sewing involved, just finishing off the edges. Now, in terms of the zip, there's a little bit of preparation there to do as well. So not everybody does this. I find that it works for me, so you might find some other tutorials that don't do this or sort of suggest that you don't even, but I find that it works for me, so I'll show you how I do it anyway. I actually iron my zip before I sew it onto my fabric, and the purpose of this is to allow you to stitch much closer to the teeth. The biggest mistake that I see when people insert invisible zips is that they don't stitch close enough to the teeth, and it means that on the outside of the garment you can still see some of the tape of the zip. You don't just see a sort of seam line effectively. So the teeth on the invisible zip, once you open the zip, they can kind of roll to the side a little bit, and you almost want to be like stitching kind of right underneath them. Now, when you come to sew it on the machine, you will be using an invisible zipper foot, and I'll explain that to you more later. It does hold the teeth to the side, but I find that just giving them a little bit of an iron just helps the teeth to sort of stand up a little bit more. So rather than sitting kind of flat against the tape of the zip, they just sort of stand upright a little bit more. So I'll have, sort of medium to cool setting on my iron, and I'm going to use the edge of my iron to do it. So open up the zip fully in one side of the teeth at a time. Use your, I'm right-handed, so that's the way round I'm doing it. You would maybe reverse it if you're left-handed. I use my left hand to just roll the teeth open a little bit so that they're standing more upright, and then just kind of quite quickly, using the edge and the point of the iron, just quite quickly breeze down the zip. And what you should notice is that the teeth stand up a little bit more. Now obviously they're plastic, you don't want to melt them, so it's better to go in cooler, and then if nothing's happening to the teeth, just increase the temperature in your iron a little bit. But what you're aiming for is that those teeth are just standing upright. You can go too far, you can iron them totally flat and make them sort of sit in the other direction. There's a fine balance, but you need to do that on both sides of the zip before you sew it. So I mentioned before the foot that you have to use in your machine when you do an invisible zip, and this is what it looks like for my machine here. It's a Brother sewing machine. It's unlikely that your machine will have automatically come with this unless maybe you had a sort of special offer, special deal when you got your machine, you got lots of additional accessories with it. It's usually an additional thing that you have to purchase, but you can get them from all good sewing machine suppliers. They're quite easy to come by, and I would suggest just checking that it is compatible with your machine, obviously, before you purchase it. But the sort of key identifying factors of a foot that is for invisible zips is that it's got some channels or little grooves on the bottom, and they're the little grooves that the teeth of the zip sort of sit into and slide into to allow the machine to stitch nice and close to them. So when you come to actually put the zip onto the fabric, the crucial thing with invisible zips is that you get the correct side of the zip facing the right side of the fabric. So what I would suggest doing is laying your pieces of fabric out with the right side of them facing up, and put your zip in between them, again with the right side of the zip facing up, so that you've got that, you can see that little zip pull at the top. Open up the zip, try to keep it flat, watch it doesn't twist, and then just turn each zip tape over 180 degrees so that it's sitting flat against your fabric, and just pin it in place. Okay, and that is how the zip is going to match to the fabric. Then the next thing that you have to do is pin it onto your fabric and then hand tack it so that it stays in place. Or you could use Wonder tape, which is basically like double-sided sticky tape for fabric, so that just helps to hold it in place. Or if you're a bit more confident and you want to go freestyle, you could just pin the top and then just take it straight over to the machine and sew it from there. Obviously there's just a bit more to control there because you have to make sure that the zip stays lined up with the edge of the fabric. But whatever you feel most confident doing, most people like to sort of hold it in place with something. The reason I'm suggesting hand tacking after pins is that because if you pin it and then you just remove the pins as you're sewing, quite often the zip can just sort of wobble around quite a lot, so it's just a bit more secure and accurate. If you do like something to be kind of held in place before you sew, is that you would pin it first to get it where you want it to, and then hand tack it in place. So up to you, whatever you feel like you need to do that you're going to have the confidence to actually then go and sew on the machine. So when you take your zip over to the machine to sew it, you're just sewing one side of the zip at the time, and the zip is going to be open, and you always start at the top of the zip and stitch towards the bottom of the zip where the little puller will be, because your zip is totally open. And when you start feeding it into the machine, it's important that you just use your fingers just to sort of make sure that those teeth are getting fed into the little grooves on the bottom of the zipper foot, so that it gets fed in correctly. And then you want to make sure that your needle is in the correct position, that it's going to go through the little hole in the foot. You might want to turn your hand wheel manually just to check that. You don't want to risk breaking your needle. And then you're just going to sew all the way down that side of the zip, doing a little reverse at the top and a little reverse at the bottom. Now when you do come to the bottom of the zip, you're not going to be able to get right to the very, very bottom because the zip pull is in the way. That's just the way it is. So you just have to try and sew as close as you can really, and there'll always be like a little bit of the zip that's not attached to the fabric. Then you just repeat that on your other side of the zip. And then before you sort of move on to the next stage, just check that you can actually pull the zip up and down, that the puller is running nice and smoothly on the teeth, and that you've not caught any of the fabric. If you can still see a little bit of the tape of the zip, you could always go back in and try to sew a little bit closer. Or obviously if the zip won't go up and down, then you've come a little bit too close and your stitches are within the teeth, so you might have to unpick a little bit. So it is quite a sort of fine balance to be had, but once you get it right, it's really, really satisfying. So then to finish off the zip, you have to sew the remainder of the seam below the zip, because at the moment your two bits of fabric are only attached by the zip, they're not attached to each other. So the way that I do this is that I always then stitch from the very bottom of the garment and I stitch up towards it. And I always put the regular zipper foot on when I do this. The reason I put the regular zipper foot on is that it allows you to stitch close to something that is raised off the surface of the fabric, in this case the invisible zip. So I would close the zip up, totally closed, and then just get your seam allowance sort of correct, because if you've got your zipper foot on, it might sort of alter where you have to line your fabric up to maintain the same seam allowance, so just sort of bear that in mind. And then just sew all the way from the bottom of the garment all the way up to the top at the bottom of the zip. Now what you're aiming for is that as you approach the bottom of the invisible zip, you want your line of stitching to butt up exactly against each other. They can't be overlapping at all, otherwise you get this classic little ripple at the bottom of the zip. So sort of use your right hand to kind of pull the zip out of the way, make sure it's sort of not getting caught or kind of stuck in that, and just sew right up towards it. Then you could either do a little reverse or a kind of stitch on the spot just to kind of lock it and secure it, and then have a little look from the outside and just check that things are nice and smooth. And then of course the final stage, as always in dressmaking, is just to give it a good press those seam allowances open underneath the zip and give it a press from the front, and you should have a lovely, nice, crisp looking invisible zip. So I hope you found that useful and that you feel a bit more confident to give it a go. You know, the first time you do something, it always is tricky. You're going to learn from your mistakes, so just don't be afraid to give it a try. If you've got any questions at all, please just leave them in the comments below and I shall try to help you as best I can. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, just remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on my next video. This video is part of a series of my top tips, so you can always go and check out that if you want to know any other sewing tips. But thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!